friends and folks. Today I'm going to walk you through a simple wire wrapped loop, which honestly is the foundation of most of the wire work I do. Using this technique, you can use a headpin to attach beads to pretty much any base, which can be useful when creating pieces with drops and dangles. The tools you'll need today are a pair of chain nose pliers, a pair of round nose pliers, a pair of wire cutters, and of course your headpin and your bead. We're going to start by threading your bead onto the headpin. Now use your chain nose pliers to create a 90-degree bend just a millimeter above your top bead. You'll want to leave enough space between this bend and your bead to create your wire wrap. You'll then take your round nose pliers and create a loop, making sure the tail of your headpin comes back around and intersects that 90-degree bend. Before you start wrapping your tail, make sure the loop you created is centered above your bead, as centering the loop is trickier after you've done your wrapping. Now at this point, if you're attaching this loop to something, you will thread on your chain or wire or whatever else it might be. But since this is just for demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next step. Using my round nose pliers, I'm going to grab hold of the loop as close to those overlapping wires as possible without warping or damaging the wires in any way. I'm using my round nose pliers here, but you may also find that if you grip too hard with your round nose, you may mar your wires. If you prefer to use your needle nose, flat nose, or chain nose to hold your loop, you should of course do whatever's easiest for you. Once you've got hold of your loop with your chosen pliers, go ahead and wrap your remaining tail around that base wire 1 to 3 times. I usually opt for a happy medium of going twice around, but I do switch that up depending on the style I'm going for or the length of the headpin I'm using. If you used a shorter pin, you may run out of wire after a wrap or two, but if you don't, you can just cut off the excess wire once you've completed your desired number of wraps. Be sure to tuck your tail at the end so you don't have any unsightly wire poking out, and with that you're done! You've officially created your wire wrapped loop. There is also a technique that is often referred to as the simple loop, where you essentially just create the loop and that's it. While this technique is marginally easier to achieve, I've personally phased it out of my practice because the connection it creates is not nearly as secure as I would like. I always prefer making my pieces as stable as possible, and an open loop is more likely to wiggle open over time and fall off, whereas a wire-wrapped loop is much more fixed. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please let me know if you have any questions down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Until next time, take care and bead well!